Why do I carry a Glock Model 45? Because they don't make a 46.
But they do make a 46.
What?
Yeah.
When did that start?
It's been a while.
Oh, man. Guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got a Glock Model 45 for you today. I've never shot one of these. For those of you unfamiliar, you know, Glock has been making the Model 17 forever, which has this size of frame, and they've been making the Model 19 almost as long, which has this size of slide. And they mated them together a few years ago. They decided we'll go with a short slide on the long frame. And they first did that with the Model 19X, which they submitted for military trials, and which wasn't accepted, although probably should have been. That confused a lot of us. A lot of us said, hey, you're doing it backwards, because going with a shorter frame makes this easier to carry, either easier to conceal, or even if you're carrying openly in a military context as a service pistol, it takes up just a little less room on the belt. So if you've also got magazines and a radio and flashlights and all the other stuff people carry, it makes the pistol a little easier to carry, whereas shortening the slide shortens the sight radius and gives you less barrel length and less velocity. But most people don't find a pistol that's just a little bit shorter in the slide much easier to carry. You don't gain very much by shortening the slide. You gain quite a bit by shortening the frame. And so a lot of people thought this was backwards. And of course, Glock now has the model, what is it, 49? Anyway, they do a relatively new one that does have longer slide and shorter frame. And for years and years, people asked for the 17 length slide and the 19 length frame, and they couldn't get it. Glock would not make that available. What a lot of people did was buy a 17 and go home, because this frame is just plastic, and they would just cut it and sort of round the edges, melt them off with a soldering iron or something like that, and they'd make their own. They'd have a 19 length frame and use 19 length magazines, but they'd have the full size slide. Or some would even cut down a 19 to the frame dimensions of a Model 26. Or I've even seen crazy people who took a 17 and cut them down to the frame dimensions of a 26. So you'd end up with a very short grip frame and a comparatively long slide. And people had creative names for those, the 26L, the 19L, whatever. But what Glock gave us instead was the 19X, and then later this, the Model 45. They are dimensionally the same, about the only difference is the color. They put that, they call it the peanut butter Glock. They put that Cerakote on the 19X and give it a tan color. I think it also has a lanyard loop. The 19Xs all come from the factory with night sights. I'm not sure all the 45s do. In fact, I'm pretty sure they don't. This one does have factory night sights on it. There are a few small differences. The 19 will ship with a couple of 19 round magazines. Excuse me, the 19X will ship with a couple of 19 round magazines. I think this one only ships with 17 round mags typically. But if we can get a close up, maybe you can read that. These are Glock night sights. For the longest time when I was looking this over, I thought, okay, I'm not sure who made these sights, but when I got a really close look at the sights, I could see they're marked Glock. This is the 5th generation, as all of the Model 45s. It's got these front cocking serrations. It's sort of beveled here for easier holstering. This one has lived a hard life. These have only been around for about 6 years, but this one must have ridden around the holster a lot, because, boy, a lot of the finish is just gone at the edges. Finish wear on the slide stop is not that weird on a Glock. Finish wear on these sights is pretty severe too. I'm assuming this came originally from the factory with these sights, because they've got so much wear on them, and they're faint. These pistols have not existed long enough for these sights to go dead, but they are faint. So this is probably a fairly early one. I haven't bothered looking up the serial number, but I mean, it's probably a 2019 gun. It's probably one of the fairly early ones. When the 19X came out, and I don't hear people say it about the 45, which is a little strange. When the 19X came out, I heard people sort of waxing rhapsodic, talking about how fantastic they were, and I thought, really? I mean, it's just a 17 frame with a 19 slide. People said they were very shootable, said they had some kind of secret sauce, that they could shoot this pistol better than they could shoot either a 19 or a 17. I don't hear people say the same thing about the 45, which is strange, because they're basically the same pistol. If one is very shootable, the other one should be. So I'm going to try this one today and see how shootable I think it is. I can tell you that in handling it, you have an empty pistol, I've become very impressed with the trigger. It's just a Glock trigger. It's how do we describe a Glock trigger? Initially mushy, and then for the 4th and 5th gen, you kind of hit a wall, and when you press through, it's kind of crunchy. This one is sort of like that, except this one, once you hit that resistance, once you hit that wall, is not quite so crunchy. It doesn't have so much over travel. It's just sort of, it's mush and then heavier mush for the rest of the way. And most people don't like a really mushy trigger, but I don't mind it. It is kind of similar to a double action revolver. It gives a surprise break. When I dry fire it, the sights don't move much. So it gives me hope. Even though this thing is heavy and mushy, I think I could shoot it well. Although, I don't know, I've made predictions like that about triggers before and then been wrong. You know, some triggers that seem like they're great don't necessarily give me good groups, and some that seem terrible shoot just fine. So I don't know. We're going to find out. But this is, in many ways, kind of a nothing special, plain Jane Glock pistol. And I know I've been handling this one recently and preparing to bring it to the range, and I've been kind of enamored of it. I'm like, I really like this. The more I handle this, the more I like it. And yet there's nothing all that special about it. I think in some ways I like it because this is sort of the quintessential pistol now. If I just say pistol, and I don't give you any more context than that, this might be what you envision. This is the sort of thing I would envision. It's just kind of plain in every way. It is utilitarian. It's kind of everything you need, nothing you don't. It's got good sights. It's got a decent trigger. It's got a good finish. It's got good ergonomics. It's about the right size. It's 9 Luger. It's just a pistol. There's nothing special. There's nothing terribly descriptive about it. It does have an ambi slide stop at least. Of course, it's got the frame texturing that we get on the 5th gen guns now. It has no finger grooves. It's got a accessory rail. But I mean, it is kind of just a plain, nothing special pistol, except I bet it shoots really well since it's a Glock. We're going to find out. All right, the ammo we're using today is the same Russian mystery ammo we've been using. It's got these green lacquered steel cases. It just came in a plastic bag, like a shopping bag. Don't know how it ended up there. I don't know who made it or when or where. I don't know anything about it, other than it was, beggars can't be choosers. It was ammo that I could just burn up on the range that was sort of nothing special. And as it turns out, this stuff has been very reliable, and most of it's been very accurate. Most of the pistols in which I've tried to shoot good groups with it. So I'm really not complaining. If I didn't say so before, I want to thank Matt for making this pistol available for us to test. Without people like him, I couldn't keep the channel going, so thank you very much, Matt. We're shooting at about 12 yards. Let's see what happens. Go down range.
Did you draw a mustache on your target?
No.
It looks like you did.
Okay, look, I drew that for the Luger video, but it looks like we can't use that footage because we had a malfunction with the pistol, so...
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, our hits in no particular order. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm assuming there's a second one through here. 5. One of these is a double. I'm not sure which. Well, for 12 yards, what do we got? Like a 2.5? It's about a 2-inch group. Yeah, I'm going to take it. For me, offhand, that's awfully good. Yes, I'm sure the pistol's capable of better. I'm sure lots of people are capable of better, but for me, that's pretty good. It's shooting almost exactly the point of aim. I got no complaints at all. This ammo is working really well through the Glock. The Glock obviously works well, period. It's nothing surprising. I tend to have really good results with Glock. This is the sort of thing I see. They shoot to point of aim. They're reliable. They shoot decent groups. The trigger truly was giving me surprise breaks. I would squeeze, and while it feels heavy and dry firing on the range, And I've noticed this before. It doesn't feel nearly so heavy. There's some kind of psychological, I don't know what it is. If I'm dry firing, I really notice the weight of the trigger, but once I'm on the range and I've got a little adrenaline going, hey, there's about to be an explosion in my hands, there's going to be a loud noise, I guess I'm squeezing that trigger harder or holding onto the pistol, anticipating recoil or whatever, really locking my wrist. And when I squeeze that trigger, it doesn't feel as heavy as it does in dry firing. And that was certainly the case here. Trigger felt great. It is exactly what I would want in a trigger on a fighting gun. It is heavy enough, but not too heavy. It's sort of everything I want. It's sort of middle of the road. It's a Goldilocks kind of trigger. Sort of everything about this pistol is a Goldilocks. Let's drop back to 12 yards and we'll shoot some more. Got a bad flyer there at the end. I rushed through that one. Let's go take another look. So I threw one Charlie out here. That's no good. When I started rushing with this Russian ammo, that's where I started to get flyers. I started to throw these couple out of the group, and I thought, oh, that's terrible. And then the last one was way down here. Really rushed through that. When I focused, I mean, this is the group. This is what I was getting out of the pistol. That is quite good for me offhand at 12 yards. That's good for most people offhand at 12 yards. The pistol clearly is capable of really, really good accuracy. Again, it's a Goldilocks pistol. It is not specialized. It's not special purpose. It is sort of the ultimate general purpose pistol. If you just need a pistol, this is the sort of thing you need. It's not super concealable. That's more specialized. It's not super potent. You might want to go up to 10 millimeter or 44 mag or whatever. It's not specialized. It's just made to do what pistols do in general. Nothing fancy, nothing specific. If you need one that's super flat shooting, you might want to go to 5.7 by 28. You might want to go to something specialized if you have a specialized need. But if you just need a pistol, this is basically it. And you'd be hard pressed to do better than this. Good accuracy, good reliability, kind of good everything. This pistol has essentially no deficiencies. And yes, with a longer slide, we would get a little more velocity and a little more sight radius and maybe a little more accuracy, but I don't know that I would notice the difference. Are you better off with this or a Model 17? I'm not really sure. There's nothing wrong with this. It definitely works. The Model 17 works. I guess just pick whichever one you like. I think I would probably stick with a 17 just to get a little more sight radius, but if this is all I had, obviously it's more than good enough. This thing is an awesome pistol. Thanks again to Matt for letting me bring this out and shoot it. Keep your powder dry.